I'm joined today with Lee Cummings from Guide Flyfishing. He's also a very experienced fly fishing guide and a casting instructor. And we've got these things, something that I've never seen before, Lee. Mow tips. What are they? What were they designed for? And what's the benefits of these things?
Skagit Mow tips were designed by three gentlemen from across the pond. Mike McCune, Scott O'Donnell and Ed Ward. And I would personally like to take this opportunity to thank these gentlemen for coming up with this, because when I got my hands on a set of Mow tips, they completely revolutionised my fishing. More so, I'd like to envisage where I use these things.
Yeah.
Somewhat different to what they were originally used for across the pond. I fish up in Cumbria on small spate rivers, and if we think about the rise and fall sequence of such a river, very rapid rising and very quick to fall also.
Fast water then, I would imagine.
Indeed, yeah. Now, there's a point where a river becomes unapproachable with a fly, and generally that's when you'll see the guys go out with their worms, fishing in the sides, fishing in the fields.
Yeah.
And then it will fall off, as you know, to a spinning height, and again, another successful method. However, I think and I believe that as a fly fisherman, we can steal a march on other fly fishers by using these in conditions where spinning is it's earning away towards fly fishing.
Yeah.
So if we envisage a situation now where the river's beginning to clear, but the water is still very, very high. Yeah. We must fish off the bank. It's completely unsafe to wade. It's counterproductive to wade in such an environment. And what we want to do is to be able to cast something this size, which, in all honesty, is
it's a beast of a fly.
It's a beast of a fly. I mean, a little bit longer, and it's the same length as a typical fly in sea that would be in use, albeit just that little bit lighter.
One of the benefits, Lee, when you're fishing a big river, you know about these lines are fantastic for small rivers. You've got the time when you cast across a big river to get that fly down, to get the line down.
Yeah.
You didn't have that luxury in a small river.
No. A little bit nerdy, but it's something I call set or swing establishment time. Sounds a little bit sad, I know, but that is critical. I mean, it stems from the angle at which you cast initially, and the depth that you're looking to attain. And these tips here, we'll get down to those places in a blink of an eye.
Yeah, and that's the key when you're fishing a small river. I suppose the holding zone are very, very narrow, very small. It could be a tight space, 10, 12 feet.
Yeah.
If your fly's not getting down to that in the time required.
Yeah. For my first couple of seasons, I dare say my flies will have just been whizzing across the top of those fish's heads, and the results show that. So, the other thing that I find with these as well, particularly I use like a thin mono type shooting line, such as the grip shooter we just show you.
Oh yeah, it's thin.
Yeah.
What's the benefits of the thinner running line? Cuts through the water quicker?
Yeah, and also if you can imagine that at the far end you've got a heavy weighted fly such as that coming in and around, and then you have your T14 tip as well. That is almost like it even though it's moving through water, it actually feels attached to something. So you can, the mendability and control of all this is, again, it was something that I discovered.
Was there a lot more feel?
A lot more heightened, yeah. When I started using these Mow tips, you're really plugged in at the far end, and you can manipulate and control. People say you can't mend sinking lines and such, but I think it helps.
With these stuff, it works
a lot more easier. What I have here is this would be like the first generation of Mow tips, and they come in this wallet, and they're all 10 foot long. The first one is it's 10 foot full float. The second one is 7.5 foot of float, and then 2.5 foot of sinking section. A 5 and a 5.
Yeah.
2.5 float, 7.5 sink, and then
you can see the variations from the floating section to the sinking section. Obviously, that's covering the depths, Lee.
Yeah, and we have the 10 here, which is one that I use particularly the most.
Yeah.
And then there's the extreme one there, which is the 12.5. Now, this blue section here, as I stated before, is floating, and just to make things even more exciting, RIO have now introduced the iFlight heads,
Right.
where we have floating section at the back and an intermediate section at the front.
Yeah.
This clear intermediate section.
So, Lee, I dare say one of the things is you mentioned that intermediate section. What you don't want to be doing is putting a floater on the end of that.
No, that would be a mistake. But you could have them the other way around.
Yeah.
And that you could use the regular Skagit heads in conjunction with IMO tips.
That would work.
Yes.
I think they're a fantastic addition to the RIO family. As you say, when you're fishing a river, very tight conditions, small water, flood river situations, you've got a lot of flow. When it comes to fishing at that time, a lot of people turn, as you say, to the worm or to the spinner. This offers a whole different agenda to our army, doesn't it? Yeah. A great bit of kit. RIO Mow tips. I think I'll be trying those myself.